sometimes topics come up and they're a little bit iffy to talk about. As West Ham fans, we all keep our eyes out for West Ham news, but particularly when you do these videos, you have to keep your eyes out. But often the news presents itself to you because it's so big, it gets talked about so much, it's trending on social media. There it is, discuss it. But occasionally you come across something that you have an opinion on, as we do, naturally, everyone has an opinion on it, but we come across something and we think, that's a bit controversial, that I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to pretend that topic does not exist. I'm just going to push it over there and I'll talk about something else, probably transfer rumours or something, and we'll leave that, okay? Because there will be a bit of blowback when you talk about these kind of things, and I'm aware there's probably going to be a bit of blowback from doing this video, but hopefully I make my point clear enough, don't offend too many people, because that's the last thing I want to do, just like I think that's the last thing Jarrod Bowen wanted to do, and that is the topic today. In the last 24 hours, Jarrod Bowen's tweet, which I'm not going to put up on the screen or read it out of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it and then come back to the video. But Jarrod Bowen's done a tweet in 2012, might I add, because context is important to everything in life, and I think that is the most important part of this tweet. It's come to light. It's since been deleted. Jarrod Bowen's done his little statement saying that he's sorry and he's learnt from it. The club's done theirs, which is they've reminded Jarrod of his responsibilities and what the club's stance is in regards to topics that are, I don't know how you word it, sensitive, I guess, racism, homophobia, sexism, that he's been reminded of what the club's beliefs are. But the FA are now looking into it, and Jarrod Bowen could face a ban, and he probably will get a ban. I expect him to. Cavani was banned earlier on in the season. Andre Gray got a ban for a few years ago for tweets he did ages ago. Chowdhury, the Leicester midfielder, he got a decent fine for his posts in regards to women's football. So Jarrod is facing a punishment by the FA. Now this tweet come to light because some West Ham fans actually brought it up from 2012. 9 years ago the tweets were, they brought it up. Which means Jarrod Bowen was 15 years old when he done this tweet. It's one singular tweet. Jarrod Bowen was 15 years old. They're ignoring the other tweets, however, which is that Jarrod Bowen believes that racism should be kicked out of football. He's also done those tweets, but they aren't gaining as much traction as the one last night did. That's the one that went viral. That's the one everyone was talking about. And this is where it gets controversial, I guess, because it's a bit of an iffy topic to talk about. But my question to you, watching the viewer right now, is, and pause it. If you genuinely want to come up with an answer, once I've asked the question, just pause it and think of your answer, then play it again, and we'll see if they match up. But got a feeling they will. So Jarrod Bowen's done that tweet, and my question to you is, what do you honestly, hand on heart, what do you honestly think Jarrod Bowen's tweet was about? What do you think he meant? Right, now you've either started playing again, you probably haven't, you probably didn't pause it, but you've probably got an answer in your head now. What was Jarrod Bowen meaning in relation to his tweet? Now, my personal perception, when I saw the tweet, I thought, well, what he means is he's got a friend who's perhaps into a particular genre of music. Perhaps he wears a particular type of clothing, wears a particular type of jewellery, or something like that. It would have been an innocent jibe, I guess, towards one of his friends, or someone that he feels comfortable saying that to and about. And I assume to some extent his friend would have been perhaps comfortable enough with it. Now, could it offend people? Of course it could. I don't know, because I am not in the category that would be offended by that, okay? If someone made a joke about a Scotsman that's hard of hearing, then I could get offended by that because I fit that category. So I don't fit the category that can get offended by his tweet. But when I read it, I seen it for what I feel it is, which is an innocent tweet regarding what his friends likes and dislikes is. And he's stereotyping, which, yes, to some extent it's wrong, but it exists, it happens. And I just feel, especially now, it's 2012, this was 2012, it was probably a lot more common back then to make posts of that ilk. Would Jarrod Bowen make a post of like that today? No, I'm 99% sure he wouldn't. A, he's grown up, and B, the world has changed. It's what you can and can't say now is different to what you could and couldn't say in 2012. I'm trying to think what I was doing 9 years ago. I would have probably said and done things back then that I wouldn't say and do in today's world, because, like I said, the times have changed. But not only that, education has changed, the way that people are taught, and you learn through making mistakes. Jarrod Bowen was 15 years old then, and I think that is extremely, extremely important. He was a kid. Granted, he was a kid not far off adulthood, not far off entering the real world, if you like, leaving education and fending for himself. But he was still in education at this point. He was still learning And that is extremely important, because the biggest way to learn in life is by making mistakes. You don't get success. You look at the most successful people in the world, they've made mistakes left, right and centre throughout their journey. That's how they got there, because they learned from it. Generally, the most successful people are the ones that learn from their mistakes better and the best from the rest of us. They don't mellow on their mistakes, they learn, they move on, and they keep on going. Of course, successful people need luck, so on and so forth. I'm getting sidetracked here. But the reason I started wanting to do this video, because it just irked me a little bit, because it's not so much just Jarrod Bowen's tweet per se. I guess it's the way of the world. Myself and Gonzo wanted to do a podcast for a while, basically the Gio and Gonzo anything but West Ham podcast kind of thing, where we do literally that, talk about anything but West Ham, because sometimes we'll record a video, it could be a preview, a review, well, not so much a review because we're usually angry after it or happy, blah blah blah, but we do a preview, a cup of tea, something maybe 5 minutes before, and then 20 minutes after we'll sit and chat, and we might talk about anything. We can talk about Netflix, we can talk about something going on in our personal lives, we can talk about tweets like this that we don't normally record on videos, and actually we often feel that the content's quite good. We get quite deep sometimes, and we often wish that we could do it as a podcast, so we're going to do it. And that's why I'm sort of doing this video. I'm testing the waters a little bit, but I don't know, I got a bit irked last night actually, because Steph, one of my best friends, Steph texted me about it and she said, oh, I can't believe someone's brought up someone's found that Bowen tweet. It says, what are you on about? Because I took the evening off from social media because the Scotland game was on and stuff. And she sent me the screenshot, and I thought, what? I thought there was people genuinely getting angry about this. So I went on this morning and had a look, and there was more people, to be fair to social media, there was more people angry about the tweet getting found to some extent, saying who's got this much time on their hands that's gone looking for something like that to get Jarrod Bowen in trouble. But I guess it's just the way of the world. The way of the world's changed a little bit, and it just irked me, because I think what Bowen's done, 100% innocent. Like I said, some people may be offended by it, and I would understand that, but like I said, I'm not the one that, I can't be offended by that for obvious reasons. But Bowen wouldn't have meant anything by it. He wasn't aiming at anyone. He was, like I said, he was having a poke in the ribs at one of his friends, and what it felt like was a completely innocent tweet. And he would have learned from that. He will have changed his how would you say this? I guess his own. I'm struggling to word stuff. Talking about how Jarrod Bowen was, the way that Jarrod Bowen speaks now has probably changed and stuff. He was 15 years old, and he could get banned for this. And I just think it's a bit, I don't know, frustrating. I think that this is the way of the world to some extent. Now, it's certainly the way of social media now. It's not as enjoyable as it was when I first joined Twitter. I used to think it was fantastic. It was funny. You could almost anything goes kind of thing. And it was a good laugh. But now it seems a little bit more, I don't know, not as funny, shall we say. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up about that. Hopefully I'm not offended too many people. And generally, apologies if I have. It's the last thing I want to do. But it was a controversial topic that irked me a little bit. I just wanted to discuss it to some extent. Anyway, Lanzini, he could be off in the summer. He wants to quit West Ham apparently. Apparently PSG made an inquiry for him towards the end of the January transfer window, which David Moyes batted away. David Moyes didn't want to let anyone else go. Sebastian Haller and Robert Snodgrass had left. He didn't want anyone else to leave. So when PSG came in, Pochettino took over at PSG at this point. They came in asking about potentially getting Lanzini. West Ham said, nope, he is not going. And as a consequence, and obviously probably lack of football time between then and now, Lanzini apparently wants out of West Ham this summer. That's what's been reported anyway, so we'll wait and see if that is true. There's also another couple of transfer rumours, mainly with players coming to West Ham, but I'll talk about them next week or something. However, last night, Austria played Scotland. Up front, they had that big guy that I spoke about I did the transfer rumour show the other day, the Stuttgart striker, Klazic or something like that. 6'7". He's Austrian. He played up front last night. No Arnautovic, he's still in China. And he scored two, he technically scored three against Scotland, but one was very harshly ruled out. It was for pushing, but he barely touched the defender in front of him. But he scored another couple of goals. One of them was a superb header, a really good header, really, like Andy Carroll-esque. And the second one was what we call a real striker's finish. Someone took a shot from outside the box, our keeper parried it, and he was there. When I say he was there, he was the only one there. He followed it in perfectly, slotted it home, onside, all that good stuff. And I have to say, his movement looked really good. He didn't look particularly slow. That, despite him being 6'7", you would assume he's proper target man sort of style of striker. No, I was quite impressed by him actually. I thought his movement was good. He was working hard. He was tracking back. He was running after our defenders because we played 3 at the back. And the reason we do that is because we've got Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson. We've got 2 top left backs. So instead of playing 1 left back, we play none of them left back. But we go to 3 at the back, so we can play 1 left centre back and 1 left wing back, so we can accommodate them both. So Kieran Tierney was also running out the back 3 quite a lot. And it wasn't unusual to see this guy running after him, chasing him. And I was impressed by him actually. West Ham get linked to him again, the Stuttgart striker. I think it's around about 13 to 15 million that they're wanting. Yeah, I'm aware I'm doing this off the back of 1 viewing. It's the only time I've seen him, okay? But what I saw last night, I was quite impressed, despite the fact he scored 2 goals against Scotland. I didn't like that bit, but everything else, he looked good. He was ticking a few boxes anyway. Right, I'm going to disappear. Like I said, controversial topic over. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone, but I just think it was a tweet that was blown out of proportion and taken out of context a little bit, which I feel, personally, is unfair and unjustified. There was no need for it to be done like that. And it's just one of them things that, had it been taken to light, it could be Jarrod Bowen, Mr. Bowen, that is now deemed unnecessary, unkind. We don't really appreciate that anymore. I'm pretty sure if you showed it to Jarrod Bowen, saying, what do you think about that tweet? You just said, crikey, I need to delete that. He did delete it. It's gone now, and I just think it should be left there. But we'll see. I think he's going to get a ban. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a 1-game ban. Hopefully he'll get a hefty fine of a couple of tens of thousands or something like that. And that'll be his punishment, but we'll wait and see anyway. But anyway, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new around here. I'm waiting to record another video, or maybe even 2, so then I don't have to do a video tomorrow on Saturday. I'm waiting to record a tier list that Hammer 1999 recommended to do, and then I put up a question on Twitter asking for ideas, so I'm waiting to take a look at them and pinch 1 or 2 of the ideas to record something for Saturday. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in a bit.